the place where you can recoup 100% and even, increase the value of your home. So like, is the kitchen is number one and bathrooms are number two, and then master bedroom. Welcome to the Cash Flow Chronicles. I'm your host, Jonny Catani, and the founder of Catani Capital Group. For the last 2 years, I've been studying alternative assets and now help solve the problem of creating passive cash flow for creators, influencers, and busy professionals by bringing you 5 episodes a week of easy to understand education in the world of passive investing. What's up, guys? Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Friday Follow-Up here on the Cash Flow Chronicles. I am your host, Jonny Catani, and congrats on making it through another week. I am, by the time you're listening to this, in the heart of the LaSalle Mountains, just outside of Moab, for one of my very good friends' weddings. So, depending on what time you're listening to this, I may or may not have already jumped out of an airplane. That's right. We are going skydiving as one of the activities for the week leading up to the wedding, which I'm very excited about. So shout out to Taylor and Britt. I don't think they listened, but shout out to them anyways. Congratulations, you two. I'm so stoked for you guys. So we've got some stuff to get to today. If you listened last week, I talked about how, and I'm not sure why I tease this, but on Friday Follow-Up, I like to keep it light. So I talked about, I teased the housing market and kind of my thoughts and feelings, and like residential housing market, because I am a homeowner. And to go along with that, we've got an update from the Fed. So unless you guys have seen, I'm sure most of you have seen because it's mainstream news, right? So we will get to that. So of course, as always, you guys, I am very excited because today I had a conversation with an awesome gentleman who is going to help me revamp my website and kind of my marketing and a lot of different things to really help. Really, it's going to help me, but it's also going to help you guys too, because it's going to allow for a little bit better quality content. And the reason why is because the biggest thing when it comes to content is copy, which is basically just the words that you see, right? Whether it's a blog, whether it's a website, even what you say in a video. So that'll be the biggest thing that I'm excited for. But the video series is almost done. So the cashflowchronicles.com, same name as the podcast. Can't forget it, the cashflowchronicles.com. Go there. 5-part video series coming very soon. I'm very, very excited about it. And this is for new investors. So if you're brand new and you want to learn the 5 steps to your first passive investment, go to the cashflowchronicles.com. Sweet. Okay. So big news came out today as of the recording for this episode. The Fed, and I called it. Did I not call it? I called it. I mean, it was kind of obvious, but the Fed paused. So they paused rates for the first time in 15 months, which is huge. Now, of course, as they do, they're like, we're pausing now, but be prepared for more rate hikes. So the May CPI came out and inflation has dropped to 4%, which is still 2% higher than the Fed's target of 2%. But again, and I've talked about this anytime we talk about these Fed meetings, where a lot of the data that they're relying on is lags, right? You get your consumer spending data, that's pretty real time in the sense of, you can get it each month, but real estate lags, and real estate is like 40 to 50, it might even be more like 60% of the CPI, right? And the reason it weighs so heavily is because it's such a massive purchase, right? They say that the biggest purchase you'll make is your house. Now, this doesn't apply to any of us because we're investors, right? And we invest our money. And so we invest and continue to invest. And hopefully we're investing way more in 3, 4, 5, 10 years than our house costs. And then we're using our cash flow, our passive cash flow, to buy our house, right? That is the ultimate goal. Now, some people make an argument not to buy a home. And I get that. I certainly understand the argument. The biggest thing there for not buying a house is it's a fixed cost when you rent, right? So let's say you're spending $2,000 a month on your rent. You know that you're not ever going to pay more than $2,000 a month. Why? Because anything that breaks or needs to be fixed or anything outside of your rent falls on the landlord, the owner of the property, right? So, you know, if, you know, new windows, new doors, any of the home maintenance, landscaping, any of that stuff, not to say that you wouldn't do it as a tenant, right? Because I lived in a few houses, rented a few houses, and we took turns mowing the lawn when I had roommates. So, but still, I knew that, you know, that's all you were going to do, right? And again, ultimately, like, you know, if I were to rent at this stage in life, I probably wouldn't mow the lawn. Well, actually, I probably would mow the lawn, because ultimately I really wouldn't want my landlord coming to the house every weekend to have to mow. So I'd definitely mow the lawn. But I'm getting off on a tangent. The ultimate point there is that when you rent, it's a fixed cost. So you know what you're going to pay, right? As a homeowner, everything falls on you, right? So you've got your mortgage. For me, it's, you know, very affordable, and it scares me to go out and potentially be a renter if I were to sell. But ultimately, you know, as my income increases, if I can fix a cost, right, that's the biggest thing. So as your income increases, the biggest thing that people want to do is they want to upgrade their house. And that's totally great. And that's what I'm going to eventually do. But the advantage you have as a renter is, let's say I go from what I currently pay. So I pay $1,500 a month. That's everything out the door. Like, it is beautiful. We've got a 1,400 square foot townhome. The problem is that it's tall and skinny. So none of the rooms are like really big. So there's nowhere that has lots of space, right? Kitchen's pretty small. Living room's pretty small. Master's pretty small. My office is not very big. And it suffices, and it's great. But, you know, as my income increases and I want to upgrade, one thing that is a huge benefit to renting is it's a fixed cost. So let's say all of a sudden I go and, you know, I'm spending $3,000 a month. Well, I know that I'm only going to spend $3,000 a month. So as my income continues to increase, ideally, right, I'm still only paying $3,000 a month, as opposed to now there are months where I've spent $3,000 on my house, right? Between repairs, I've done a ton of upgrades, right? So the mortgage is the minimum you're going to pay, whereas rent is the maximum you're going to pay. So you can see where the argument for renting is, you know, makes a case, right? Especially because, you know, let's say you're not tied here. Like for me, you know, my ultimate goal is to split time between here and somewhere like Phoenix or Scottsdale, right? And so the biggest thing there is, if I'm renting, right? So let's say I'm renting here in Salt Lake, and this is where I permanently live. I would buy a house. I would still buy a house in Scottsdale, and then I would short-term rental it. And then I would just block off the dates that I want it, right? And so the biggest thing there is, let's say I go spend 2 months in Scottsdale, and you're like, well, Jonny, you still have to pay your rent, right? And yes, you would still have to pay your mortgage too, right? Assuming someone doesn't take over it. And there's options there, right? Of course, we won't get into that. But the biggest thing is that I know that if I'm renting and I leave for 2 months and something happens to the house, it's not my cost. I don't have to hurry home and fly home and have a plumber come because a pipe leaked or whatever, right? I know that if something happens, it's on the landlord to get it fixed. And oh, by the way, I'm not even there. So feel free to go there anytime and get it fixed. So do you see where renting starts to make sense at a certain point? Now, to come full circle and flip, and for the other side, it's hard as a homeowner whose house has doubled, and that's what I want to get into is, so I put a big down payment down, which I'm really so grateful for. And there's been an open house every weekend at one of the units here. And in my opinion, the house is a little overpriced for the current market. Talking to some of the neighbors, they're like, oh, I think she'll get it, or maybe even above asking. But it's been on the market for a couple of weeks, and they've done 2 open houses back-to-back weekends. And as a former realtor and as someone who's involved in the space, multiple open houses is not a good sign. It is a sign. If I'm a buyer and I see back-to-back open houses, to me, that says that there's room to negotiate this price. Now, do I think that she'll still get above 400? Yes, I do. And from what I've been told, I didn't go in there and I should have, but I was always just driving by and I saw it. So from what I've been told, it's very modern, so very up to date. So I've updated mine to be very modern as well. Now there's still some work to be done. I had to tear out the shower in the basement bathroom. So the basement has a living room, bedroom, bathroom. Had to tear out the shower, but the basement has brand new carpet. It needs to be repainted, and the shower and bathroom need to be redone because there's some mold. Now, the nice thing is that it's a small bathroom, so really won't be that challenging to do. I'll have the plumbers come in, put a new drain in, and then I'll bring in a tile guy, do tile, upgrade some fixtures, and it's done. Like literally $1,000 and the whole thing is done. And then I need new countertops. I want to get all new. So I've got a stainless steel microwave because I had to get a new microwave. And then I'll get all new stainless steel appliances. So we'll have new countertops, new sink, and a stainless steel appliances. And that's it. So another $5-6 grand. And I could probably get another $30,000 take home, right? That's after fees and everything. Another $30,000 take home. Now that's probably stretching it a little bit, but this is the point I wanted to talk about. And I just want to make this point. And I'm going to start keeping these episodes fairly shortish because it's Friday and, we really just want to talk about stuff. So for those of you that are homeowners, the thing that I'll tell you is the place where you can recoup 100% and even, increase the value of your home. So is the kitchen is number one and bathrooms are number two, and then master bedroom is number three. And I believe it's in that order. I know it's kitchen and then bathrooms. So if you're on the fence, and if you are in a bind and you have to sell your house and you've got to sell it, but if you're on the fence, do the kitchen bare minimum, right? New countertops, new sink if it's outdated, and stainless steel appliances. Go so far in listing, especially when you put on the listing that the appliances are a year old or less. I mean, that is huge, right? So anytime something can be done within the last couple years, it's going to add so much value. And remember, residential property trades on comparables. So in order to get, right, if there's a comp, like for me, to get to the 425 level and have that as a viable comp, I need to have it as close to that as possible, which means I need to have all this stuff updated. So for me to go spend another $6,000 and possibly list it for another $30,000 more, I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? That's a huge ROI. So I made the case for renting, and ultimately I do plan on selling my house the next year and becoming a renter for the reasons that I laid out. Fixed cost, and am not going to be spending all of my time here. So I'd like to be able to split time between here and someplace like Phoenix and also possibly San Diego. And because of that, it's nice to know that I've got a fixed cost at home. And if anything happens while I'm gone, it's not my responsibility. So those are the biggest things there, the biggest factors. And it's really nice being in a market where even with high interest rates, with this, this would be a perfect moment now that interest rates have paused. I imagine a lot of listings are going to pop up, a lot of realtors making the call. And here's my prediction. I don't think they'll raise again. I know that's a bold prediction, especially with what they're putting out there, but I really think they're just putting it out there. I think that once June comes in, and I think that if we can get inflation down to 3% before the next meeting, then they will pause again because ultimately what that will mean is that things are trending downward and we don't need to keep raising rates. And then what will happen is at the start of next year, like Q1 of next year, I think they'll start to. So the next meeting will be July. So July 25th, 26th. So basically a month and a half from now. And then it won't be again until September. So my prediction is that they pause again in July. And because we have 2 more months to wait, I think that inflation will come back to sub 3% by the time September meeting rolls around. And they will indicate that they're going to leave rates where they're at, let inflation do its thing for the rest of the year. And then the start of next year, they'll start to bring rates down, which means springtime will be huge for selling your house. So that's my prediction. And that's my ultimate goal. And that's what I'm leaning on. So I'm going to start the process of getting everything updated and completed so that when the time comes that rates start to drop, I can just boom, put it on the market and take advantage. So there you have it, guys. Thank you as always for listening. Happy Friday. Hope you guys have a great weekend. I know I'm going to be having a great time celebrating my friends and their love. Have a great weekend, everyone, and I will talk to you guys next Wednesday. Don't forget, follow me on social media at Jonny Cattani. See you guys. Thank you again for tuning in. Who do you know that wants more cash flow? Share this episode with them so you can grow your cash flow together. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you're subscribed on your platform of choice so you never miss a new episode. Go to CattaniCapitalGroup.com to learn more.